lay people.
Let me interrupt you.
Sure.
We do have some breaking news here. The NBA has responded. The NBA season, following tonight's action, has officially been suspended for the time being. Let me read the statement here from the NBA. The NBA announced that a player on the Utah Jazz has preliminary been tested positive for COVID-19. The test result was reported shortly prior to the tip-off of tonight's game between the Jazz and Oklahoma City Thunder at Chesapeake Energy Arena. At that time, tonight's game was canceled. The affected player was not in the arena. The NBA is suspending gameplay following the conclusion of tonight's schedule of games until further notice. The NBA will use this hiatus to determine next steps for moving forward in regard to the coronavirus pandemic. This is the world we're living in now, and this is obviously to protect everyone involved in the game, including the fans. And this is crazy times here, guys.
Yeah, I lived through a lot of crazy things, but this, and again, it's just something where that we got to take it serious. It has hit home. A player, something that we've been hoping and praying not to happen. A player has tested positive, and you think of all the contact that players, the people that contact, people come into, players do, and in these arenas, and among the thing I'm thinking about, among his teammates,
right,
and then all the people they come in contact with and their families, and they've been on that charter, flying in, and all the people today in the hotel, and it's just, man, it's surreal.
Yeah, the NBA ecosystem is interconnected. You're talking about charter flights, locker rooms, different arenas, hotels.
Yeah.
And, Sam, a lot of teams use similar, hotels on the road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to start tracing steps. And where have the Utah Jazz been in what, the last 14 days?
Exactly.
To backtrack
who
they've played,
who he's been in contact
with. Rudy is from France. So has he had someone visit?
Don't know.
It could be any number of things. We don't know all the details yet. But if the league has taken the step to suspend games until further notice, that should be an indication to everybody exactly how serious an issue this is.
But they're not sure.
Because they just don't have the tools in this moment to know exactly how far this thing might have spread. And if you're listening to the doctors and the mental or the health experts I've heard talking about it, this is a virus that spreads so rapidly among inner circles. Mm-hmm. So that means if Rudy Gobert contracts it, there's 2 or 3 people in his inner circle, whether it's teammates, whoever, that could contract it, and then it spreads from this.
Well, think about this, Sekou. After games, before games, we're all in close proximity. Yeah. We're hugging each other. We're in a tight-knit group all the time.
Yeah.
And it's nothing for guys to sweat on each other, to sneeze on it, because we're with each other all the time, and you just don't think about it. And now the fact that one guy has tested positive, and then you think about all the people that he interacts with on a day-to-day basis. I mean, it's especially when they're on the road. In Utah, you go back 14 days and start looking at these things, man. It's a lot of people that he's been in contact with.
All right, again, so a couple of different things here, and let's get you up to speed if you're just tuning in. The breaking news tonight from the NBA. The NBA, following tonight's games, will suspend the season for the time being, and I'm sure we will get updates in the coming days. There had been reports earlier tonight that there was a Board of Governors conference call today to discuss a plan of action. That all changed tonight with what happened in Oklahoma City, where they postponed the game between the Jazz and the Thunder right moments prior to tip-off tonight. And Shams Charania, among other media outlets, are reporting that Rudy Gobert is the player that the NBA is referencing as the player who has tested positive for COVID-19. Again, as soon as we receive more news on that front, we will pass that along to you. Rudy, earlier today, was ruled out of action due to an unknown illness at the time. Again, they will not play in Oklahoma City tonight, and the NBA has just sent out a memo that the NBA is suspending gameplay following the conclusion of tonight's schedule of games until further notice.